Hello, everybody. Well, I know that all of us we are going through a critical phase right now, and believe me, after this corona problem or the corona crisis gets over, we are going to face a very, very terrible crisis, and that is nothing else but your recession. Yes, it is a recession that we are going to face, and this as per the survey, it's going to be much more bigger than what we faced before in 2008. Okay, so I have one more thing to discuss with all of you today, and the topic is it's a research that I've been doing from so many years, and also uh, I don't like to be like a normal, an average person, thinking everything as an average person. I always try to be a little bit out of the box, like lateral thinking or critical thinking and all. So that is the reason one research I'm going to just, it's my own research and few strategies I have developed. Uh, I know that all of us, we are going through a very bad phase, the economic crisis. Yeah. Okay. So today's topic is how to adopt your effective digital marketing strategy in a time of crisis. How to adopt your effective digital marketing strategy in a time of crisis. Well, COVID-19 coronavirus or corona crisis, my corona, whatever you call it, 2020 so far has been a tough ride. By now, everyone is aware of the importance of social distancing and regular hand washing, and we'll leave it to the health experts to fill you in on those critical matters, okay? Great. Well, my job is to help business people, entrepreneurs, leaders find audiences and customers via native advertising on the open web. As more people are quarantined in their homes, businesses, large and small, are feeling the impact, believe me. Every day new rules and restrictions come into play, and the goalposts are moving too fast. Okay, so here there are few strategies I have developed. Strategy number one: communicate directly and openly with customers. I say it again: communicate directly and openly with customers. Strategy number two: use your online advertising budget wisely. Use your online advertising budget wisely. Strategy number three: think of ways to fit your product or offer to the current situation. Think of ways to fit your product or offer to the current situation. Strategy number four: build goodwill with special offers. Yes, build goodwill with special offers. Well, move on to strategy number five: work strategically and efficiently. Yeah, you heard me right. Work strategically and efficiently. And the last one, strategy number six: move everything you can online. Move everything you can online. Well, I'm going to go into the depth right now. I'm going to discuss the strategies in little bit details, in so that it will make you to understand what are my strategies are, and how the strategies are going to help you in the time of crisis to have a much more better growth and expansion. You can grow your business and expand your business and organization in this corona crisis. Well, well, so let's discuss the first strategy: communicate directly and openly with customers. communicate directly and openly with your customers. From 2 decades, even more than 2 decades, that is 20 years, I have been always telling a single line to all my thousands of clients or my students and my well-wishers. This is very, very important statement, and believe me, this is the fact and the truth. People show their true character when faced with adversity. I'll repeat it for you all. People show their true character when faced with adversity. What does it mean? During the current corona crisis, the same thing can be said about businesses and brands. You know what? Trust and authenticity. Trust and authenticity are some of the most important aspects of a brand's relationship with customers. As per my survey, 81% of consumers, they always say, and I quote in a bracket, I must be able to trust the brand to do what is right. Bracket close. And believe me, and what better way to build trust than to communicate openly and honestly? This is my question for all of you. What better way to build trust than to communicate openly and honestly? Especially during a crisis when everyone is feeling vulnerable. Well, this can be achieved fairly easily via an email or SMS to your distribution list or a post on social media. The tone can be heartfelt, supportive, edgy, or a matter of fact. It really, really, really depends on the character of your brand and the message you want to convey. It really depends on the character of your brand and the message you want to convey. The tone is not the critical part. The most important thing is to be honest and true. This is what customers value, and they will sense when it feels authentic. This is what customers value, and the sense, absolutely right, and the sense, and they will sense when it feels authentic. Well, let's move on to strategy number 2 in detail. Use your online advertising budget wisely. I must say again, use your online advertising budget wisely. Okay, so what do I mean in there? When there is any sort of national or global event, a crisis like Corona, what is happening right now, good or bad, internet activity skyrockets. Yes, I'll say it once again for all of you. When there is any sort of national or a global event, good or bad, whatever it is, believe me, internet activity skyrockets. People naturally turn to their smartphones and laptops to check the news, search the wave, and hear what their networks are saying. People naturally turn to their smartphones and laptops to check the news, search the waves, and hear what their networks are saying. During a crisis, or epidemic or a pandemic, during a crisis, impressions and page views tend to go through the roof. However, getting those extra page views to convert is very challenging. So while CPMs, that is cost per thousand impressions, the abbreviation CPMs, it means cost per thousand of impressions, tends to decrease. Now CVRs means conversion rates, tend to decline as well, and sometimes at an even steeper rate. which commonly results in CPAs, that is cost per acquisition, becoming very high, very, very high. Well, I'll just say it once again. This is a very, very important part. Please pay attention. CPMs, that is cost per thousand impressions, tend to decrease. CVRs, conversion rates, tend to decline as well, and sometimes at an even steeper rate, which commonly results in CPAs, that means cost per acquisition becomes very high, very, very high. So, rather than focusing on impressions, now is a good time to change your digital strategy so you are paying for clicks only. Rather than focusing on impressions, now please, now is a good time to change your digital strategy so you can or you are paying for clicks only. That means advertising on channels and platforms that use CPC, cost per click, rather than CPM, payment models. Again, I'll say it for you. That means advertising on channels and platforms that use CPC model, that means cost per click model, rather than CPM payment models. Well, let's move on to strategy number 3. Here I go. Okay. Think of ways to fit your product or offer to the current situation. Think of ways to fit your product or offer to the current situation. Well, in 2020, if you run a supermarket or sell sanitizing gel, then you are all set. But what about the millions of businesses that don't? The question is very critical. What about the millions of businesses that don't? For many, a little creative thought is what's needed to make a connection between the product and how customers can benefit from it during the crisis. This is particularly true for e-commerce companies who can position themselves as providing a solution for customers' current pain points. For example, during a period of social distancing, when people are not visiting malls, an online clothing company can adjust its return policy to make it easier for people to try and buy at home. I'll say it once again for all of you. It's an example that I'm going to showcase in front of you. During this type of corona crisis, pandemic crisis and all, where social distancing, everybody they are focusing on social distancing. When people are not visiting malls, an online clothing company can adjust its return policy to make it easier for people to try and buy at home. Well, let's move on to strategy number 4. Build goodwill with special offers. Build goodwill, your goodwill, with special offers. We are in this together. Yeah, even me too as well. That's not just a marketing slogan. We are all in together. And when a business acknowledges this fact, it can find ways to help customers, the community, and build goodwill along the way. Some businesses may choose to participate in charitable works or volunteer activities in their local areas. Well, this can and should be publicized on social media, native ads, videos, and blogs. Businesses can also create special offers to help customers through a difficult time, whether it be providing discounts or coupons or extending subscriptions for a limited period. Of course, each business must determine for itself whether an offer will be financially viable. It's about finding the balance between being there for customers and what the company can afford. Author, entrepreneur, and co-founder of different companies, please pay attention to this point. It was like it's really critical, and it's very crucial. Okay, so let's move on to strategy number 5. Work strategically and efficiently. I'll say it once again. Work strategically and efficiently during this corona crisis, or the crisis that we are going to face it in the near coming future. Well, during this crisis, time takes on a different meaning. Millions and millions and millions of businesses worldwide, globally, have instituted a work from home policy. Yes, a work from home policy, meaning that employees are juggling work, home, and families at the same time. Plus, a crisis like COVID-19 is a dynamic, and the situation is changing fast, depending on which country or even city you and your customers are located. Okay, I have jotted down few tips to manage your time better, and I hope that this would help you grow much better and faster in this crisis that we are going through right now. Point number 1, focus on short-term results. Yes, please focus on short-term results. It means, say, when the situation in a few weeks is uncertain, focus on what you can achieve in the next few days. Okay, so point number 2, be patient and cautious with your creatives and messages. Be patient and cautious with your creatives and messages. Say, even though you might feel like you need to jump in and put your business in the picture, it pays to take a step back, take a deep breath, and craft your messages with care and authenticity. This is not the time for taking chances that may have a negative effect. Come on, grow up. Be strategical. Okay, so point number 3, focus on opportunities. Yes, focus on opportunities. Please focus on opportunities. In a crisis like COVID-19, or we are going to face a much more big, and the situation is going to happen because the recession is going to hit very soon, it is easy to fall into despair and negativity. However, it is so important to focus on the positive rather than problems. And here are always, believe me, and there are always opportunities to be found. There's no, or say, there's no shortage of opportunities. You have to think out of the box. You have to keep your senses. You have 6 senses. You have to keep it always in a high level. Okay, so the last point would be, move budgets to branding and awareness. Move your business budgets to branding and awareness. Say, your customers may not be in the right frame of mind for conversions. Rather than spending budget trying to convert users who are not ready, focus on awareness campaigns that will keep your brand top of mind once the crisis is over and customers return. Okay, so let's move on to the last strategy, that is strategy number 6. Move your everything, anything you can online. Move your everything or anything you can online. Closures, cancellations, I'm going to say here, closures and cancellations are the biggest impact of COVID-19 on business is the restrictions on physical gatherings. Well, conferences have been shut down all over the world, and travel has dwindled to almost nothing. Businesses should take the opportunity to boost their online lead generation efforts with the budget that would have been invested in offline events. Now that face-to-face meetings are becoming less common, believe me. Yes, absolutely right. Face-to-face meetings are becoming less common. Companies can run webinars, video meetings, and other virtual gatherings to connect with potential customers, isn't it? Use the time that may have been spent on events and conferences for other productive purposes. For example, implement e-learning programs and online meetings to ensure continued learning and development among staff members. I heard lots of excuses from different corporates and executive decision makers that we are busy, we this run that problem, and that's the reason we couldn't do the learning programs for our staff members. This is the perfect time. This COVID-19 is a blessing in disguise, and this is the perfect time for all your staffs to get trained in e-learning programs. In short, please move all marketing and internal activities online and leverage virtual tools until life returns to normal. While we all ride out the corona storm, wherever you are located, globally, believe me, I wish you and your families and your business a very good health. Remember, please remember, we are all together, and we are going to come out of this together as well. Stay blessed, stay healthy, and stay in touch. If you have any questions, please do ask me. You can write a mail to me. My email ID is Abhishek Haridas Saha at gmail.com. It's Abhishek Haridas Saha at gmail.com. Or you can WhatsApp me, or you can send me messages, you can call me, you can ask your questions, and I would be highly obliged to answer your questions and give you the solutions. This is what I'm born for. Thank you so much. Stay blessed and stay healthy.